A ticket for last night's game, it is good for tonight. And if you had a ticket for last night's game and you can't attend this evening, you may exchange the tickets by 5 o'clock this afternoon. But last night's tickets are good for tonight's game. Hey, strike 3. So Brett, after walking Brinkman, has struck out 2. And Lajoie have won 3 slugging titles or more. There's Ted in the dugout. Epstein can't handle it. Andrews scores. Smith goes to third. Yastrzemski is on first. 1-0 Red Sox. Did you play Legion ball, John?
Yes, I did for 4 years.
I played 3. Fly ball to right. Grieve and Reichart there, and it's Grieve. Smith will trot home as the throw goes to second base. A long sacrifice fly by Pet. So the Red Sox at the end of 1 have a 2-0. Billy hits one to right center field. Grieve chasing the ball. Billy Conigliaro around first and into second. Holds there as Cullen takes the relay. Conigliaro doubles. Remembers the Jimmy Fund. Base hit. Billy C. will score. Montgomery has singled. Bob Montgomery bangs a single into center field. Nothing doing yet over in the National League. Last night, as you probably know, the Pirates beat the Mets, but the Cubs won a pair. There's a drive to left field. Bouncing into the corner. Montgomery's getting the go-ahead from Popowski. He's coming home. He scores as Brett doubles into the corner and left. 4-0 Boston. Ken Brett. Mike Nagy will work against Jim Hannon. Brinkman singles into center field. Smith up with the ball, and Eddie is on. Strike 3. Greaves people in the game. He's as big as himself.
Very good way of putting it, too. A real gentleman.
Strike 3. Well, Mr. Brett now is starting to really show some things here. Strike 3. Ken Brett. And I don't know whether this is a record. We're going to start checking through the books. There may not be anything on it. But he has struck out 8 out of the first 9 men that have gone out in this ball game. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on. In the middle of the 3rd inning, it's Boston 5 and Washington nothing, and we'll be back with more Red Sox action in a minute. Was called out on strikes in the first. And he's got a base hit. Scott singles into left center field. Runner on first base. Cisco Carlos used to be with the White Sox, warming up in the bullpen. Strike. Out at second base. Scott on a fine play by Cullen, who took that throw from Casanova on one hop. Fine play by the Washington second baseman Tim Cullen. Another look here. As you see, the throw is low. Scotty sliding, but Cullen gets it. Boy, that's quite a shot, isn't it?
Excellent. You can see everything. Cullen, as you said, Ken, made a fine play because the ball is low like that. An infielder doesn't have too much trouble with it.
There's a ground ball to Epstein. He'll play it alone. Just gets him. Boy, that was close. And that's all in the third. No runs on one hit and nobody left on.
So far for 3 innings, he's been immense. That one is laced well to left, and it is a fair ball into the corner. Billy having to chase it all the way back there, and Rodriguez has an easy stand-up double. Broken bat, grounder to Scott. Very high throw, and that's an extra base for Epstein as the throw goes into the dugout, and a run.
He's got that bat wrapped. He's holding that bat a little bit like Billy C did earlier in the year.
And Scott has to hurry. Does. Makes the play nicely to retire the side. Well, no strikeouts for Brett that time. Here's Brett. Ken doubled to left to drive in a run and scored one. Just to add a fillip to the performance that he's had on the mound. Bunts toward the mound. Thrown out by Carlos. Cullen covering. 1-4 is the play on the sacrifice, sending Montgomery to. I often wonder what would happen to the ball had he hit it. Grinds that bat at the plate. You've got splinters and dust and sawdust and everything coming out of it. Strike 3. He's out of there. Ken Brett gets Howard for the 3rd time, and that's number 9 for Brett. 9 strikeouts for Ken in 4 2/3 innings.
For 3.
And that's going to be backhanded. Good play by Brinkman for the out. A great.
And tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Later on a wild pitch. Goes to the opposite field again, but Howard is there. And there's one down. Yeah, a pretty good crowd in the bleachers, and a perfect day for coming out to the ballpark. Epstein to Carlos, spotted his toss that time.
0-2. Ken Brett. 9 strikeouts for Ken in this ball game. Strike 3. That's strikeout number 10. Dennis Riddleberger. Strike 3. So Tony strikes out. That's 2 men out. The bottom of the 7th. The Red Sox 6 and the Senators 1. Rodriguez to Epstein, and that's all. Has struck out 3 times, or rather twice, and walked his day, and his breaking ball's been something to look at. Ball hit towards left field. It's off the wall. Billy plays it off the wall. Grieve goes into second base. So Grieve leads off the 8th here with a double off the left field wall. Nice play. Rick Reichhardt in the on-deck circle. Frank Howard was batting .296 coming into this ball game with 42 home runs and 122 runs batted in. Strike 3. Satch makes the putout, so that's strikeout number 11 for Ken Brett, who popped to Andrews in the first, struck out in the third, and grounded to short in the 5th. And Los Angeles, or rather the California Angels, the trade from McMullen, he and Rodriguez. Ball hit to left field. Billy can't reach it. Grieve coming in to score. Going into second base is Rick Reichhardt, and he's safe for the 2-base hit. Mike Andrews putting the tag on just a little late. This young fella has 19 home runs and 80 runs batted in. Petrocelli to Pavletic, and that's all for Rodriguez. Two and two, 2 men away. Base hit up the middle. Reichhardt coming in to score. Reggie throws the ball into second base, so Epstein singles to center. So the score now 6-3, and here comes manager Casco.
WHDH TV, Channel 5, Boston.
Gary Wagner is coming in now to do the pitching for the Red Sox, as usual, jumping out of the cart, ready to come on, and the applause is for Ken Brett. And they're standing up down behind the Red Sox dugout as Brett leaves. Getting a fine round of applause from the fans here at Fenway as the young fellow struck out 11 men to
Number 28 is Sparky Lyle, the left and right. Strike 3. That's all for the Senators here in the 8th. There were 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. So after 7 1/2, it's Boston 6 and Washington 3.
Drive to left field by Scott, and it's a home run. George Scott out in the 8th, and Gary Wagner comes to the plate.
Gary Wagner, Red Sox pitcher Wagner.
Well, I believe this is the first trip to the plate for Gary this year. Strike 1. He's been used in short relief, and he has not had occasion to bat before. One and one. Gary is living in Scituate now and will be here for the winter, making personal appearances for the Red Sox. Strike. 1 and 2. Last year he taught in a one-room schoolhouse. Had 6 different grades. Strike 3. Gary Wagner strikes out. And in the 8th, 1 run on Scotty's homer. Nobody left on at the end of 8 innings. Boston leads 7-3. Unser draws a walk, leading off in the 9th inning. Fly ball into short right center. Smith makes the catch. Nelson is out. Ground ball to Petrocelli. Over to second, 1. Back to first base. Safe at first. Line drive. Base hit to left. Brinkman to second and holding there. And the throw goes into second base. So Billings singles, and that brings up Howard. Strike 3. That's the ball game. Boston wins it 7-3 as Frank Howard struck out 5 times here this afternoon, and the Red Sox take the day game. In the 9th inning, no runs, 1 base hit, and 2 men left on. There's the final. The Red Sox 7 and the Senators 3.